Is Denis planning on hooking Devon in their upcoming super match? Did he intentionally lose the last round or tried to lose the last round in their 2018 left arm super match? Why did Denis say that Devon cheats in the setup? Is he also falling to the mind games like Hermes Gasparini? Everything that happened in the Engin Terzi Denis Cyplenkov interview, I'll give you the entire highlights if you haven't watched that interview yet. Link will be in the description. So Denis said, and I quote, well, not exactly a quote, but he said, Devon, get ready, be strong, don't make me angry on the table, and keep your tricks to yourself. I cannot quote him because that was the translation that we heard on the show. Despite these powerful words, I think this is the least confident that I have ever seen Denis Cyplenkov be. I mean, I think he's going to lose. He's in big trouble. There are lots and lots of reasons for that we are going to discuss. He's planning on only being about 85% of his peak shape against a peaked version of Devon Larratt. Are you guys kidding me? Did I hear it correctly? 85% Denis Cyplenkov against 100% Devon Larratt. It is not going to end well for Denis if that is the case. We'll discuss more of that in the later part of this video. So first of all, Denis said that he's really happy. Why? Because he finally got to return home and train at his home. We saw that in Dubai as well. Denis was kind of complaining, yes, he's out here in Dubai, but he likes to train in his home place, in his comfortable zone. That is where he gets the strongest, the fastest. He can maintain when he's traveling, but it is impossible for him to gain. So he's happy, and he's happy with the weights that he's lifting. Now that was probably the only positive sign that I saw from Denis Cyplenkov. He's saying that he's happy with whatever he's lifting right now, and Denis knows how his progress works, in which week of his preparation cycle he needs to be lifting what kind of weights. He knows everything. So as of now, Denis is 126 kilos, which is okay, about the same size, maybe a few kilos heavier than Devon Larratt. But he said there is no point in taking measurements of biceps, as asked by one of the fans in the super chat, until he's 140 kilos. And I don't think Denis is ever going to be 140. Like, if you guys were to bet, can Denis ever be 140 kilos again? I don't think he's going to be. And Denis also answered Devon's questions about his health issues. Devon keeps on bringing Denis Cyplenkov's health, and without even being asked that question, Denis himself asked that, yeah, Devon shouldn't care about the health too much. In professional sports, everyone sacrifices their health. It is inevitable. So yes, Denis is risking his health just like everyone else. I don't know what exactly Denis meant to say about that. Maybe he's trying to say that Devon should also be careful. I'm just assuming things, but he did say that he agrees there is a risk, but that is the nature of these professional games, and that is the risk that everyone has to take. Then they talked about Hermes versus Devon match, and Denis basically said that the mind games got to Devon, plus Devon loads a lot in the setup. He applies too much back pressure and up pressure. This is exactly what John Brzezinski was complaining about. This is exactly what Hermes Gasparini was complaining about. And unfortunately, it didn't end well for both of them. Well, John never really had any chances of winning the match, but there were many people who were hoping or thinking that John may win the first round, but it didn't happen. It didn't quite happen. Now, Denis Cyplenkov is kind of, I will say, I agree with that super chat. There was a super chat that said that Denis is already complaining, he's already making excuses, while Levan never said anything about Devon's cheating in the setup. Well, Denis replied that he just answered Engin's question, what does he think about the trash talks and the stuff. So Denis really disagreed with the trash talk part as well. He doesn't think that that kind of portrays a good enough image of the sport, really dislikes the trash talk part, and he doesn't really like what Devon does in the setup. He said that Devon moves before the setup, applies too much back pressure. When the referee is about to say go, he suddenly creates some movement. We saw that against John and against Levan as well, but not in the Hermes Gasparini match. I think whatever Devon was saying, Hermes was doing in round 2, 3, and maybe in round 1 as well, if we talk about just the finger movement in the setup and lifting of elbows as well. So I think Denis is also worrying too much. Like, he was complaining almost as much as Hermes Gasparini complained about the cheating that Devon does in the setup. It did not look good. So first of all, this is getting to Denis Cyplenkov's head. I think mentally he's for sure going to be a lot more confident and lot more resilient than Hermes Gasparini. It is not easy to shake Denis Cyplenkov, but this type of thing I've never heard him say. So maybe it is getting a little bit to Denis Cyplenkov's head. He said that in a month or so, he will be in the shape in which he was when he faced John Brzenk. Now that was a really, as a Denis Cyplenkov fan, really disappointing thing to hear. I was expecting Denis to be more stronger than that. He needs 1 more month to be in a shape that he brought up against John Brzenk. And that shape was also not really good. He was almost losing his wrist when he was going sideways. This just simply does not look good. If that is true, there is no way that Denis is going to beat Devon. So 70% against John, that's what he was. 85% against Devon, that's what he's going to be. And then 100% against Levan. I don't think the Levan match is available if he brings the 85% shape against Devon. Devon is going to beat him. Then he said that as of now, there are no plans to train with Vitaly and Zaur, but Ivan Matyushenko is going to come. He's going to train, but Ivan's style is completely different than Devon. I don't think it is going to matter much. So once again, lots and lots of complaints about the setup. That's what I heard. They probably talked about that thing for almost 15 minutes and 5 minutes for the trash talks part. What do you guys think? Is Denis really feeling the heat? Because he was around 144 kilos when he faced Devon. Now he's about 20 kilos lighter, and Devon is bigger. Devon is almost 10 kilos heavier, and he's stronger. If we even consider the weight, Denis has lost like 40 pounds muscle mass. Devon has gained 20 pounds muscle mass. 60 pounds difference. I think that should be sufficient to kind of close the gap. And yeah, by the way, they talked about their left-handed super match as well, which was probably the biggest match ever until the Devon Lett versus Levan Saginashvili match. So he talked about that match, and he clarified that yes, he did intentionally give that final round to Devon. He tried to lose. I was correct. I was speaking about that in 2018-19, that Denis wanted to lose that round. He wanted to give that 6th round to Devon, but he was so strong that he couldn't, even if he wanted to lose. Devon did a couple of elbow fouls. Then he asked for the 7th round. Technically, he won 6-0. Then he lost that round intentionally. But Igor told him that no, the score was already 6-0, so it cannot be 5-1. Denis desperately wanted to lose that round, but it won't be the same this time. Whoever wins this match wants to win it clean, wants to win with a dominant performance of 3-0. Thanks for watching. Like the video and subscribe.